Hey guys, the Seagate GoFlex Turbo external hard drive. This is going to be a super quick review because, well, you know what, all hard drives are pretty much, or these external hard drives are pretty much the same with a few exceptions with this one. First of all, as you can see, the port is way too large. You can see these two connectors that I have here. One is Firewire 800 and the other is USB 3.0, and they are ginormous compared to the size of the drive itself. But you know what? That means this drive is flexible. So I bought the USB 3.0 version, but my MacBook Pro can only handle 2.0. So I decided, hey, I want to make it a little bit faster. So I got the Firewire 800. And the USB is slower than Firewire, which is slower than Thunderbolt, which in this case, I would assume is roughly the same as USB 3.0. And now I did do some tests, and Firewire 800 was about twice as fast as USB 2.0, which is expected. All right, so right now you're looking to buy an external hard drive and you don't know what to pick. Well, you know what? If you want to use Thunderbolt, this is pretty much your main choice because there are ways to connect this drive, yes, this 7200 RPM drive, to a Thunderbolt source. Well, one of it is the Seagate desk, made by the same company that makes this drive. And some basic research online, I found that, well, no, you can't really connect this to a Seagate desk. And if you don't know what the Seagate desk is, don't bother with it. Don't worry about it. This is only for geeks like me that look at this stuff. So there is a connector for this thing, which is a Thunderbolt connector. Now, I complain how big these connectors are. The Thunderbolt connector is actually so much bigger, and it about doubles the thickness of this drive. Yeah, it's like a bay. It's like a bay that you dock the drive into. So yeah, that's one bad thing. Another bad thing is that the connector itself is $100 plus $50 for that Thunderbolt cable, and it has to be the end of the chain. So, I mean, compounding factors, that kind of sucks. But if you really want your speed, you should definitely think about this and the Thunderbolt. And you know what, if you don't care about money, yeah, go ahead, buy it. But you will not get 10 gigabits per second out of this drive because it is a 7200 RPM drive. If you want to get 10 gigabits per second, you should opt for a not Thunderbolt. You should opt for a solid state hard drive. Now, here's some fancy graphs that I created. The USB 2.0, oh, by the way, all this data is taken from the internet. So the USB 2.0 is 480 megabits per second, and Firewire is 800 megabits per second. And USB, in this case, is the same as Thunderbolt at 1520 megabits per second. Now, let me tell you guys how I got this number. I went to the Lassie website, and I looked at their 1 terabyte 7200 RPM drive, and they quote it as having the speeds of 190, something like that, 190 megabytes per second, and that's about 1520 megabits per second. So keep that in mind. But as you can see in the graph, it is much faster. So that Thunderbolt connector thing for an extra $150 on top of the drive, it might actually be worth it. I mean, it would speed up your drive if you were only using USB 2.0. But if you already have a computer that can handle USB 3.0, I don't think there's, I don't think you should get the Thunderbolt drive if your computer can handle USB 3.0. Anyway, would I recommend this drive? Well, it is fast at 7200 RPM, and there is that flexibility of getting a Thunderbolt drive on top of it, but there are extra costs. I mean, that Firewire 800 connector that I got was extra, and the size, the connectors are pretty bulky, and this thing is already, well, a little big compared to the other external drives out there, but you know, it's subjective. Objective? It doesn't matter, but because I recommend this thing. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. I recommend this drive, and yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you around.